Hello and welcome to another review video. If you can read the title, you will know we're going to be taking a look at the Nerf Doomlands 2169 Double Dealer, the blaster that I want to call a double down for some reason. It might have something to do with the KFC thing, or double down on your luck with the Double Dealer. I don't know. Anyway, this is a new blaster in the Doomlands line that takes two magazines, one on each side of the blaster, and shoots two darts at once. It also has a different box than what I'm and probably you are used to. It's illustrated on the front with a very tiny little picture of the actual product right there. And on the back, you still have the old Doomlands comic right there, as well as a little bit of the story and just what the blaster does with the picture right there. So an interesting box. That's just a bit different, but it doesn't really matter what the box looks like. Let's see what's inside the box. Inside the box, you get the blaster itself, you get your magazines, you get the instructions, you get these two pieces right here that will have to be put onto the blaster, so there's a little bit of assembly, and you get 24 darts. So the first thing you're gonna do is take your thingamabob side magwell thingy dupes and put them onto the blaster. They can only go on one way, so there's no worry about, getting it wrong and then it's forever stuck. Nope, it can only go on one way. Now that I have the magwells in, let's go over the features, the design, all that good stuff with the blaster. We're gonna start with the grip and how comfortable it is. This grip is super duper comfortable. It might be from it being slightly smaller than other Nerf grips, but even with these weird wonky ridges on here, it fits my hand very well and my fingers just fall into these grooves like perfectly. The main one as well as the pump grip are super duper comfortable. I think hands of every size are going to find this blaster just nice to hold. I have no problems with it at all, other than the back right here just sticking into my skin just a little bit, but it's not enough for me to criticize on it. These grips are some of the most comfortable Nerf has ever put out. Maybe since like the Big Bad Bow or the Lock and Load. Excellent, excellent, comfortable grips. Behind the main grip, you have this stock. It's not a stock. It's way too short to be a stock. You have your a double mag holder stock. Somebody air quotes. It's not a stock. It's a double mag holder, so you can take drums, 18-round mags, any mag that is compatible with mag accepting blasters will fit back here. Now, when I first put these in, I thought there was a problem because mine are a bit off angle from each other. Even when I really hammer them in there, that's just kind of weird. Now, it does hold the magazines in place very nicely, so if you're running around, you should have no problems. But Rob of Southern Brisbane Nerf Club did find one problem with the mag holder. If you take one of the mags out, uh-oh, it fell out. That's not a good thing. So if you're going to be using the mag storage in the back, you will definitely want to have two mags in here. I think that's something Nerf should really address with this, because I think that's not good design. It's a flaw and it needs to be fixed, because that kind of renders the back useless since you're going to be taking one of the mags out of it anyway, eventually. So that's a problem that needs to be sorted out. Hasbro, do it. In front of the main grip, you have your magwells that have a Raider Rampage style release to them. So you put your mag in on each side. It takes two mags, obviously. And you shoot, pew, 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 pew. And when you need to take your mags out, you put your thumb against it, hold, and pull. Now, the right one for me is a bit wonky, so you kind of have to quickly pull it out in order for it to work. And it doesn't always work. I don't want to have to release the main grip in order to get it with my right hand, so I find that very, very awkward. I don't know how they would remedy that, but it's just kind of an awkward thing to get used to. So I guess if you're left-handed, it's going to be awkward with your right hand, but it's not a comfortable way to remove your magazine, and I think there needs to be a better release, but I get that they did it that way to be symmetrical. It's just, I don't like that at all. So this side's good, this side's bad. Above the magwells, you have your jam door, which is this clear piece, and it doesn't open as much as I wish it did, but it does open, and to close it, you just wait for the snap, and there you go. It's a jam door that's clear. In front of the jam door, you have one tack rail that is super duper short, and at the front here, you have your priming grip. And if you heard that, it is ratcheting. So there might be something ratcheting in here, but that makes it so if you prime it halfway, you can't push it back forward. And it does that for the entire prime of the blaster, which is nice. So you don't get these weird half primes or clutches like making loud noises like the Sling Fire. So yeah, the prime is very smooth. It has a nice rant to it that I like. One thing you cannot do with this blaster is you cannot fire one dart at once. There isn't like a staging to it like with the rough cut, so you're going to be firing 2 darts at once the entire time, which is, I don't really like that too much, but I'll get into that later in this video. So those are all the features to the double dealer. Let's take this thing outside, give it a chronograph shooting, and just play around with it. Already it's jamming. Are you serious? This thing really hates clear 18s, I guess. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I don't think I've ever had to cut a shooting demonstration early like this. I think this is the first time that has ever happened. And I don't know if that's because this blaster is a lemon or if just things were not going well today, but that was unacceptable. Now, before I go into my opinions and whether or not you should buy this blaster, which I'm sure you can already kind of tell what I'm going to say, I'd like to address something that I'm sure is going to pop up in this video's comment section if I don't, and that is something that happened with the Sling Fire video where people were saying that the Sling Fire was performing badly and the accuracy was terrible because I was using the wrong darts. In that case, it was the Zombie Strike darts. To people who have said this to me in the past, and to those who may say it in the future, Elite darts, Zombie Strike darts, and Doomlands darts are all elite darts with different colored paint jobs, whatever you want to call it. The only difference, I think, is that Doomlands darts are slightly thicker. Besides that, they are all elite darts. There is no difference to them. And if darts I've been using, the ones that I have over here that I've been using for different firing tests, work with other blasters, but not with this one, that's not the dart's fault. That's the blaster's fault. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now let's move on to my opinions and overall whatevers with this thing. Now, I don't know if this is a lemon or if this blaster is just terrible for all of them right out of the box. But for my opinions and whether or not you should buy this blaster, I'm going to pretend that it did not have the feeding issues and that it got slightly better FPS readings, because that could be from it just being a lemon out of the box and me having bad luck with my purchase. So just bear that in mind while I say everything. I don't like this blaster. I don't like this blaster at all. There are some really nice things about it. The grips are super duper comfortable. The prime is just lovely. It's such a nice smooth prime. The ratcheting is a nice feature that they've added to it so that you don't, like with the Sling Fire, crack it back into place. The other thing I like about this blaster, and something they need to fix, is the storage on the back. While this isn't a stock and this blaster is short, it is a nice size for just kind of firing from the hip and stuff. This needs to be fixed so you can hold one magazine into it. that would be great, and it would be a nice thing that this blaster has. For those of you modding it or who might find it in a thrift store, I would cut off this entire back end and glue this onto a blaster so you have a compact dual mag storage thing just on the side of whatever you want to run with. I like the storage on the back, it just needs to be fixed. Everything else about this blaster I do not like. I do not like having to shoot 2 darts at once because I think that's a waste of ammo. Other people might disagree with that. I'm sure Wacom would definitely disagree with that, and that is a shotgun. I don't like shooting 2 darts at once as a mandatory thing. If there was a feature that allowed you to shoot 1 or 2 darts, that would be great. But just like with the Diatron, I am not a fan of shooting 2 darts. I think it's a waste of ammo, and I think that shouldn't be just a standard feature with a blaster. It should be something that's optional. Another thing I don't like about this blaster is how wide it is. With the 12-round magazines in here, it is almost as wide as I am. I don't want to run a blaster that is almost as wide as I am or that can be wider than I am. That's just weird. It makes it wonky to kind of maneuver around. You have to think about how wide, like how much room you have on your side with it. It's just awkward, and it looks terrible in my opinion. It looks so bad in my opinion. It's such a weird look. I don't know how to describe it other than weird and awkward. And it gets even worse when you put drums on it. I don't have 4 drums, but I'm going to take a screenshot of Potato's review of this. Go watch his review on it. It looks so bad with drums. It's just a... I'm about to go into a rant on this. I don't like the way it looks. It's big, it's wide, it's awkward, and I think it looks terrible. I do not like the side magwell thing going on with this. It's just gross. And the last thing that I don't like with this blaster is how it works, because you're losing potential performance with it. The way it works is you have 1 plunger tube and then 2 barrels that come off of the plunger tube. I don't know if you noticed, but in the firing demonstration I put 1 mag on each side and shot it, and it was getting slightly better performance than if you had 2 magazines in here. I think Nerf should have made this a bit wider, put 2 separate plunger tubes in here, and then had the 2 barrels so that you get a slight boost in performance overall, and it just shoots better. And now for the price of the double dealer. How much will this blaster set you back? I paid $40 for this blaster, and at $40, I cannot recommend this blaster. It is a blaster that contains features I do not like. I especially can't recommend this blaster at $40 if the lemon style problems I had with it aren't just because mine is a possible lemon and it's just happening in general. If the double dealer is supposed to be getting 50 FPS ranges, and I don't want to say supposed to be eating your darts, but that's kind of like a thing that just happens with them, it is definitely not worth looking into. If I find that my FPS readings were just low, I'm gonna go in and add an annotation that shows what other people got so that it's a bit, fair to say, yes, that was a lemon style problem with mine. $40 for this blaster I don't think is worth it at all, and I don't feel like it's a blaster that you should pick up. Now, if you are interested in the blaster because for some reason you just want one, you want to try it out for yourself, I'll have links in the description to where you can buy it, and I'll have them updated when this blaster officially comes out and is officially put on sites, so you can go check it out there. But for now, that is a look at the double dealer. Not worth it, in my opinion. Not worth it at all. And I still have to get these darts out of it from in here. I need to get like a chopstick because it's bad. So there you have it. That was the double dealer. I hope you enjoyed this review. And as always, have a great day wherever you are.